Alright class, we're working on investigation 4.1, which is dealing with parallelograms. We've already worked with triangles and rectangles, and now we can investigate through a little more parallelograms. As you very well know, rectangles are dealing with lengths of measurement, length and width, and triangles are dealing with side lengths of base and height. Now, parallelograms are very much working with base and height. It's kind of like triangles does. So we're going to try to understand what that means today and how to find those specific measurements and then understand how to do that. So, okay, I have laid out here 3 different figures, one being a triangle, one being a rectangle, and one being a parallelogram. Before we go any further, let's define or figure out, knowing what parallel lines are. So parallel lines are lines that are equal distance from each other at all points. From each other at all points. And so, by definition or by explanation, if I was to measure from here to here, it should be the same distance if I measure it from here to here. That is a parallelogram. I'm labeled every single one here as all the ones that are the same color are parallel to each other, so you can kind of see by visual what they are looking like or what the parallel lines look like. So that's what that means. Now you can ask yourself, well, what is then a parallelogram? Okay, well, a parallelogram is all sides are parallel. All sides have parallel lines. So, if I had to explain the parallelogram, triangle would not have all parallel lines, it doesn't have any. Parallelogram, this one has, every line has a parallel line to it. So this one has specifically four lines that are parallel, or 2 pairs. Now you can ask yourself, well, is a rectangle a parallelogram? And I would say yes. Rectangle, I would say, is a special parallelogram. And the reason we call it a rectangle in general is because it has 90 degrees for its corners, or it also has, it happens to be the same as the height. So the sideline is the same as the height. So that's kind of why a rectangle is called especially a rectangle. And you'll notice in the future that certain figures has special names to it because it's used so often. So, but a parallelogram has those unique characteristics. And now here I'm going to place the height. It's very similar to the triangle, where it's going to be equal distant to the base, or perpendicular to the base. So here I'm just going to label the height there, and so you can understand and establish where that is, and then we'll try to find the base here also. The base is right there. Alright. The height is perpendicular to the base from the opposite parallel line. Oh, Sorry, not the P. Yeah, and then the base is basically just the measurement of the bottom segment graph. And also note that the height is perpendicular to the base. So that's something very important to understand too. So this is going to be perpendicular to each other. The base and the height, they're perpendicular to each other. Okay. Alright, so those are elements of a parallelogram, and we're going to figure out how to find the rectangle or the parallelogram here. Now, I just worked on this earlier, but if I was to find the area of the base and the height, this measurement is going to be area equals base times height. Now, as you can see, I'm going to have here the base, and this is going to be the height. Now, all you need to do, very simply, multiply them together. And then you'll find your answer. So, well, 9 times 6 is going to come to 54. Okay, so it's also going to be feet squared. So that is your area of your parallelogram. Very simple. Now, the concern or thought I would have is to making sure you know that the sides are not measurements that you're going to be wanting to take when you multiply a parallelogram. Some people might multiply this side instead of multiplying this. You have to know it's perpendicular to the base. So there, it has to be perpendicular to that base. This is not perpendicular to the base. So you have to realize that that's two different types of angles. Perpendicular means it's 90-degree angle. Now, what 5.5 feet can help with is the perimeter, and help with finding the perimeter, and that's also going to be asked of you. You can find the perimeter distance around very easily with 5.5, but you can't use that to multiply find the area. So just make sure you understand those differences, and we'll be golden. Okay. Very similar to the same shape I had earlier. Just find your own area, and if you wouldn't mind, find the perimeter also. So find the area and perimeter, please, of this figure, and you'll be golden. Please come to class with this done. Have a good day. Thank you.